Hello everyone, I am Ru and I would like to start by welcoming you back to my channel, RuWithTheBook's. Based on the name, you might be able to ascertain that I talk about books, and that is true. In this video, I am going to be answering a few little questions to do the Bookish favorites tag, so you can get to know a little bit about me, my tastes, what I like, what I rank, all those kinds of things. And it is autumn. It's getting cold. It is sunny. You might be able to just about see the crack. But it's important to stay hydrated, stay warm. So be sure to grab a beverage. I'm drinking a bit of coffee for my morning. So yeah, go ahead and do that before you start watching this video if you so like. And yeah, be sure to press the like button to help me out with the algorithm so people can see this video. So put a bit of effort into these, and press the subscribe button below too if you like books. Without further ado, let's get into the questions. Question 1 is name 5 books that define your taste. And I think I can answer that question quite well by saying I like books that make you feel something. Whether that be joy through laughing, I'm especially big on humor, or books that make you sad or reflective. I think I do have a preference towards the prior books that make you laugh. So for that reason, I've put 3 out of the 5 being the happy books, and 2 being more of the sad, contemplative types. So book number 1, I have Myrtlewood Mysteries by Iris Beaglehole. These aren't ranked or anything, by the way, either. Which is kind of this kind of like fun, witchy, supernatural series about a mother and a daughter who move to a town called Myrtlewood, and they essentially start living there because they've inherited an amazing magical house. And so they meet these citizens of Myrtlewood who are all very quirky and eccentric and fun. And there's like a mystery thrown in every book. There's quite a lot of books in the series. I think at the moment there's maybe 7 or 8. And they are absolutely fantastic. I'm still in the process of catching up to them, but I love them a lot. They are such a joy to read. Second up on the list of fun books, I have Guards by Terry Pratchett. I really like Pratchett's works because the caricatures he has in all of the books are just so funny. They all of the characters, they have something that is memorable about them, some like kind of like defining feature. Or like a kind of like a little quip or line that they have. They're satires of many different topics. So if you pick up one of those books, it could be a reflection of a specific topic, such as like the music industry, or what it's like to be a worker for like a government kind of thing, like the post office, or how to be part of like the transportation and everything. So I'm forgetting the exact words that I'm trying to find here. It's really annoying, so I gave the things instead. Or they can just be funny overall and have a nice little story. So absolutely love Terry Pratchett's Discworld series. They are all of the books I've read so far have been fantastic, and most of them I'm pretty sure I've rated 4 and above. So big fan. And finally, out of the fun books, I had to put it, is Dungeon Crawler Carl. I am a big gamer, so I really enjoy all like the achievements and the level up notifications. It's also like wacky and full, like just throws everything at you. You get so much dopamine reading this series that it is absolutely incredible. It's basically about a guy called Carl, and he is saved by his cat from a alien invasion, because as they invade, basically everyone that's inside a building or a car or anything like that gets squashed, and all of those buildings are repurposed to essentially be a dungeon underneath the ground. And the remaining humans are either given a choice of you can stay on the ground and rebuild civilization, and have to start with shelter, start farming. You lose all of the advantages of like modern technology, or you can go into the dungeon, and the further you make it in the dungeon, the more floors you complete, the better the benefits are. And if you make it to the very end, you can literally become the ruler of the planet that you have lived on before. So there is very obvious benefits. Each floor has a bit of a different thing, like a different theme. So a floor can just make it to survive long enough, or it can have an objective like clear your bubble. There's so many different formats, so each book feels really, really fresh and exciting, and it's just an absolutely fantastic series. So much to laugh about. The characters are incredible. It's fast paced. There's loads of action. Carl comes up with incredible plans all the time. Just so much fun. I've currently read 5 books, I believe. The last one I read was The Butcher's Masquerade. I didn't want to catch up with the series because I didn't want to have no more Dungeon Crawler Call to read. So I put it on a bit of a pause, but I am super excited. I think next year I'll pick up another book, maybe catch up with the series, because I think there is another book coming out in 2026. So yes, Dungeon Crawler Call, love it. And now for the more contemplative, serious stuff. Number 1 is Demon Copperhead. So this is the 4th book, by Barbara Kingsolver, and I absolutely love that name. Amazing name. It's about a guy called Damon, but people call him Demon, and Copperhead after his father and his flashing looks. He grows up into, essentially, his mother is addicted to drugs. So he has a very, very hard start of life, because as she's in and out of rehab, he goes into foster care. And those situations are always pretty sad, because he struggles to either have enough food to eat, or he's basically, instead of going into education, going to school, he's forced into manual labor. And so it's kind of forced into... we get to explore what it is like growing up for a character like that. And the book is full of so many incredible moments, so many sad moments, and you get all of these really, really interesting characters that are part of his life. And they're just normal people, right? People that are dealing with their own problems, like problems of parenthood, problems of drug addiction, problems of just being in a small town and not being in a big city, or vice versa, being in a big city and missing what it's like to live in a small town where everyone knows each other. It's such a layered, complex, brilliant story, and I would love to read some more Barbara Kingsolver. And the final book I have for this question is Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. It's a story about a group of musicians who band together, and it kind of follows their rise to popularity and fame, what the recording process is like, what dealing with fame is like, what the live shows are like, the electric energy, their like synergy as they start playing together, and they can cover for one each other, make these kind of like snap second decisions. And it has one of the best mental health arcs I have ever read in any book ever. What goes on with this dude, Jasper, that's his name, is absolutely like crazy. I've never read anything like it. It's such a captivating, gripping story with some pretty high stakes, and seeing how the band evolves in surrounding that aspect is very, very interesting too. It's such a fantastic story. It's like there's not necessarily like a really strong plot. It is very character based, and I think that also adds to what my taste is like. I am a big fan of character based stories. I think I'm somewhere in the middle of character and plot. So I think give me a really strong part of either. Like either make something really action packed, no characters, just plot, or give me characters and just forget the plot. Just give me a really deep exploration of these characters, and you will have me hooked. So yeah, those are the 5 books that define my tastes. That could have been a video in its own right, but you get it here first. Question number 2 is books you were obsessed with during different eras of your life. And I can't really answer that question because I didn't really read for a large part of my life. I read a little bit as a kid, so like I liked Harry Potter and Beast Quest, stuff like that when I was really, really young. And then I didn't read for a long time because I got really into gaming, and with school taking up such a large amount of your day, I'd come home and I'd hop on Skype and play games with my friends. And then I went to university and I was reading like scientific literature and textbooks and stuff, and I was very like mentally stimulating myself all the time, so I didn't really have the want to read. It was only after I graduated that I reintroduced this hobby into my life, and I've become really, really obsessed with it. So I can't really answer the question because I wasn't really obsessed with different things, but as I kind of mentioned in the previous question, at the moment I'm really obsessed with Discworld books, Dungeon Crawler Kyle, and fantasy books in general. I'm starting to really horror as a genre is also starting to really grow on me. So things like that. I'm loving Stephen King, Discworld, Multiple Mystery, stuff like that. Question 3 is favorite genres. So I kind of already touched on that. My favorite genres are fantasy, horror, and contemporary fiction. So books, as I said, like Demon Copperhead, and even though I guess that's part historical as well, and Utopia Avenue. Already answered all of those. Anything that either helps me escape, or something that makes me shocked, or something that makes me reflective on things, and those genres do all of those things, or cover all of those aspects. Question number 4 is favorite authors, and I've come up with a list of 4. Some I've already discussed in this video, and others I have not. So the first of all is Terry Pratchett for reasons previously mentioned. Second of all, I have Sebastian de Castell. I have really, really enjoyed his works. I've read the whole Spellslinger series, which is about this kind of like outcast young adult magician who doesn't really have a lot of spells he can use. He can only use a very select few, so the way he deals with situations involves cunning and outsmarting people, which I really, really like. And there's a really, really nice dynamic between him and his animal companion that is so great to follow. And there are some really cool recurring characters that are brought in. And I've also read Malevolent 8, which is a great kind of like Suicide Squad type story that I really enjoyed as well. And Malevolent 7, and then he's come up with the sequel book, Malevolent 8, which I still need to read and really excited for it. I picked it up already, so yeah. Number 3 is Lord Grimdark, Joe Abercrombie himself. I really love what he does with his books. Just the fact that they're always action packed, with some absolutely fantastically written characters who are very morally questionable. So you have like crippled torturers, you have barbarians, you have wise old wizards, you have all of the art, like all of the kind of tropey archetypes of fantasy, but then you also put in a bit of potty humor, and it makes an absolutely fantastic combination. I am yet to finish reading all of the First Law Universe stuff, but I look forward to it. And I also picked up The Devils when that came out. Really enjoyed that. I have a review for it out. It's one of my first videos, so if you're interested in checking that out, you can go ahead. It is in the reviews playlist on my channel, so you can use that to find it. So really love just the fact that whenever something really dark happens, something really, really terrible, 2 sentences along, Joe Abercrombie's gonna make a pee joke or a poo joke or just something stupid that picks you back up, puts you back on a high, and gets you laughing. And number 4 This was the moment that I have decided that this is true. Stephen King, because the more of his works I read, the more I'm starting to enjoy it and the more I'm getting invested in it. So I've read Pet Cemetery, Misery, I've read the Gwendy series with Richard Osman. I believe that's his name. I might be wrong. Really sorry if I've mixed up two names there. And I have read The Shining and I've read The Body. So that's a few, right? I'm really, really interested in reading The Stand, Salem's Lot, 11/22/63, I believe that's the name of the book, and some of his more fantasy stuff, like fairy tale as well. He's got such a large discography that there's so much I want to read. And what I really, really like about his books is the character voices he has. Sometimes he can go on quite a few tangents. He is a bit waffly, but if he applies that to just the characters in a monologue, it is through the roof. It's so gripping. It's just like page turnery. Just the thoughts these characters have, or their kind of like internal personalities, are so captivating, so real, that they are really, really cool. I think I'm maybe less interested in his coming of age stuff than a lot of readers are. But what I am here for is, as I said, the internal character monologue. So yeah, that's why I like Stephen King, and now he has become one of my favorite authors. My favorite form of reading is with the Kindle, an e-reader, and that is because I am not currently living in my forever home, so I anticipate at some point I'm going to have to move into a house that I will be living in for much longer than I am currently living here. And so it's quite a small house I live in, so I don't have that much space for books. And I have to, make use of all that space for all the other stuff that is important to have in a house. So yeah, for that reason, I like the Kindle, because you don't have to, have many bookshelves. You can just have one device with a lot of books on it. And e-reader files are really small, so you can have hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of books on one device. I just had another thought to add on to this as well. My favorite form of reading is also actually reading stuff. I'm not big on audiobooks. That's just because I like to do other stuff while I have something on in the background. So I'm not always paying a lot of attention. And for that reason, if I put on an audiobook while I'm gaming or doing chores, a lot of the time it's just in one ear and right out the other. And so for that reason, I can't do audiobooks. So I actually have to read the words myself. And the next question is favorite book characters. So I've compiled a list of 5 in this question for answers. And the first is Kellen from the Spellslinger series. For reasons aforementioned, he is quite juvenile, but he's very cunning and is very good at outsmarting. He shows a lot of emotional depth because of the kind of position he's placed in, and he forms some great relationships with various characters. And if someone's a bad guy in his way, then he's very, very quick to be witty and silly and just say some very, very mean things, some absolute roasts. So yeah, for that reason, I love Kellen from the Spellslinger series by Sebastian de Castell. Second up, I have Rosemary and Athena from Myrtlewood Mysteries. And the reason I have them as one character as opposed to 2 is because although they are separate in ages, they are a mother and a daughter, they have very, very similar personalities, although at different points of their life. So it's really, and in fact, the kind of dynamics between each other, because they talk to each other so much, are actually great, and they're actually really, really believable characters. I've witnessed people like this in real life. So they are just such a joy to follow in the day-to-day and see how they deal with whatever they have to deal with in the current installment of Myrtlewood Mysteries. Number 3, I have Glockter from First Law series, and that is because he is so cynical. Whenever he thinks internally about things, he's always just so cynical and so funny. that once again, even though what he's doing is really messed up, when he isn't actually torturing people or interrogating people, when he's just, going from one place to another, hobbling along in great pain, he is always saying some really, really funny things. So for that reason, I have locked it up there. Number 4 is Paul Sheldon from Misery. This could be recency bias, but I hope not. I found his character to be so captivating, despite the absolutely terrible position he is in. He always thinks about things in such a funny way. He comes up with analogies for his experiences, or kind of has like a running joke about things. And he just is such a captivating character to read about, to inhabit his brain, his mind. He is fantastic, and one of my favorite Stephen King characters so far. And number 5, I have Jasper the Zoot from Utopia Avenue. I've already name dropped him before. He has one of the best mental health arcs ever. He is a kind of like a tortured genius kind of character because of his mental health issues. He is also autistic, so it's very interesting to get that not standard type of character, someone who's a bit eccentric, a bit different, and see what the kind of characters that he likes to, attaches himself to, or feels very empathetic towards, or feels a strong connection to. He's a very, very interesting character to follow, and for that reason I have him at number 5. Although those are not actually ranked, those are just 5 I came up with. So Jasper could be number 2, Rosemary and Athena could be 5, Paul Sheldon could be 1, Kellen could be 3. It doesn't matter. I could reorder that list in any kind of way. Question number 7 is favorite series. Only a few words here. Dungeon Crawler Carl. Question number 8 is series you're most excited to finish. And I've actually been really good this year with not being in the midst of too many series or actually finishing them up. I have been very terrified of starting like a million different series and then being in the middle of a million different series. But actually, I also need to finish the Godkiller series. But the one I'm going to say here is Mistborn Era 1 by Brandon Sanderson, because I think it'll be really exciting to finish my first Cosmere sub-series and to be able to move on to another one, start afresh, get a new magic system, see the kinds of characters that Brandon Sanderson's got cooking up in the future in different worlds. So yeah, that's my answer there. Question number 9 is series you're most excited to start. I've got 2 answers here. One of them is maybe a bit higher up on the priority list than the other. So I'm going to start with the one that is maybe a little bit less, and that is Wheel of Time. I am really excited to start it because it is such a behemoth, but that is also its downfall. I'm kind of excited to get lost in the world, but at the same time, because when I start book 1, I've now got to read so many books. It's a little bit lower than the next one, which is the Farseer trilogy, which is part of the Realm of the Elderlings. The reason it's higher is because even though the series is probably almost about as long as Wheel of Time, it is in trilogies. So I could read one trilogy and then be like, yeah, I've got on my Robin Hobb fix for a while, and then move on to the next when I'm ready. Whereas if I start Wheel of Time, I know that I am now in it for quite a while, because each book, I guess, serves as move on to the next. It's not part of a trilogy. You can just stop and start when you want, but it is a 14 book thing. I think it's 14. So for that reason, number 1 is Farseer trilogy, number 2 is Wheel of Time. Question number 10 is a book you'll predict will be a new favorite, and for that I have The Princess Bride, because it sounds, well, first of all, I've actually got that on my TBR. It's somewhere about book 8 or 9, I'm thinking. So I've still got a good while to get to it. The backlog is enormous. But yeah, it's got so many fantastic elements that make up a story, all packed into one thing, and it's a story that has stood the test of time. It's been popular for a really, really long time, and it sounds like an absolutely fantastic fantasy story. So I think that definitely could be a new favorite if it plays its cards right. Question number 11 is favorite special editions or favorite book covers, most beautiful books. I'm going to leave this to the books that I actually own physically, because I'm not too in tune with like the special edition kind of thing, and I don't have a mental catalogue of every beautiful book cover I've seen in Waterstones. So first up, I've already shown this off in the previous tag video I did, and that is this copy of Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, because it's got these beautiful sprayed edges that are in gold, which matches really nicely with the gold on the cover, and the red. Red's my favorite color as well. It's got a nice little bookmark in it, so you can keep track of where you are in the book. And it's got really nice pages. They're kind of like this glossy kind of thing. Just absolutely stunning. And even the spine looks nice if you display it. Second of all, it's a nice, simple cover, but I like it a lot. That is the Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. I like it because the kind of like string type spools, they're like shiny, and it just looks really, really, really nice. So, and it's got the red sprayed edges. Once again, red is my favorite color. So I actually own 2 books with red sprayed edges, and this is one of them. So yeah, those are my 2 favorite book covers, and just how the books look themselves. Question number 12 is, if you could go buy a book right now, just for fun, what would you buy? And for me, that would be Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, because it's such a fat book. It's over 1,000 pages. It's literally like this thick. It's like just humongous. And the reason I want to buy it is because like every single time I go to Waterstones, I debate picking it up, and it's a bit of a joke between me and my girlfriend, because we do like to go for a Waterstones browse together. So yeah, I think just to be able to be like, I bought this, and just wave it in her face would be really funny. Question number 13 is favorite Bookish merch you own and shops you like. So I'll start with shops. The main shop that you can find in the UK, which is basically like Barnes and Nobles, is Waterstones. Waterstones is great because it's the most like common bookshop in the UK, because it is a chain, so you can find it in most major cities. And for that reason, I like it, because if you're traveling, you can very easily find a Waterstones and go look at some books. Second of all is, I live near Oxford, so one of my favourite bookshops is Gulp Fiction. It's in the indoor market in Oxford, which I like going to. And it's very small, and it feels very pretentious, because the kinds of books you find there are, well, very kind of literary type books. So it appeals to the academics and everything, and I like it for that reason. I've got 2 bits of book merch that I like. First of all is my bookmark. I like it because it has sloths on it, and sloths are funny. Luckily, the bookmark's actually not in use at the moment, because I'm not reading a book physically at the moment. Second of all, and these are a bit used, that is, I really like these One Piece novels I have, because I am a big fan of Ace, and yeah, they're just really, really cool. They're kind of like shiny and got this kind of reflective quality to it, and if you put them together, they kind of work together. Ace is a fantastic character. I'm not going to spoil anything about Ace, but if you know, you know. And the final question is favorite book creators. First up, I really, really like Tutor Ramble, because they are really funny. And they have more kind of long form content, so I can put on one of their podcasts and listen in, especially if the topic is interesting. They make a great duo, so they're really entertaining to listen to. Second of all, I have Mike's book reviews, because bro is like the Unk of booktube. He is, he's very kind of doesn't want to say bad about things too much, but he does still have criticisms. He just wants people to read what they enjoy reading. He's not kind of like snobbish or anything. And he uploads really, really frequently. So there's usually a little video to watch or listen to. Third of all, I really like Paperback Journeys because he has a really soothing voice and he is very constant. He constantly posts like reading wrap-ups and stuff. So if you just want to hear about a new book or his opinions on something, he's fantastic. And finally, I have David G because he is my first friend on BookTube. So shout out to you and thanks for tagging me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed it. I am sorry if this video was maybe a bit more rambly than usual. If I answer these questions, I think it's best to not script them out beforehand like I do for my reviews, because in my reviews I want it to be concise, say everything I want to say without double, triple, quadruple takes or intense editing to, put things in the right places or get rid of empty air or anything like that. So for that reason, it is a bit more rambly. But I hope this different kind of format is appealing as well. I think it's been fun kind of staring at the camera and just rambling and yapping and coming up with these answers on the fly because they are quite authentic. And I surprised myself. I did not know the first question. It took me like 9 minutes to answer it. I didn't even think that I think make such a, not compelling, but like not concise, but like a make sense kind of answer with 5 books and string it all together and be coherent. That's what I was looking for, coherent. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to press the subscribe button. I upload twice a week at the minimum, most weeks, all weeks. And I also do One Piece content, so I react to the latest chapters. So whether you're into books or One Piece, there is something for you to enjoy, and I'll hang out in your subscription feed or over there, who knows where it is, and be a constant friendly face. So yeah, anyway, I hope that you enjoyed your beverage, and until next time, Ru out.